Okay, we're rolling.
Wide, and then I'm going to go in
Okay.
on 'em.
All right. So as we were just discussing, when we saw that Cyndi Lauper video first, Rick's up there playing Steinberg, a lot of non-guitar players noticed that guitar. What's the reaction to that?
Well, I think right from the beginning it was very important for us because musicians would take our guitar on stage and immediately that was a focus of attention. So that a guitar which normally wouldn't particularly take notice of, all of a sudden everybody's noticing it and people would get back in touch with us after a big show. We'd hear from people, you know, what was that guitar, and I think it created a lot of attention.
What? Let that truck go by. We're okay. That soundbite was in the clear. What?
I can close this
No,
window.
no, that's fine. That can,
It's easy.
No
We
problem.
heard it, but it was okay.
It was the end of the bite where it was pretty much in the clear, I think. No problem. What is the Steinberger guitar? I mean, what makes it different from other guitars? I mean, let's get a little basic for a minute.
I think two things. First of all, sound. The material it's made out of, this is a reinforced composite structure, similar to what they make jet aircraft out of and so on. This is a material that we can use to create a more dynamic, brilliant sound. So first of all, it's sound. Second of all, it's playability. Because with a headless design, you have an improved balance, and with that balance, a musician can be more relaxed, freer, more access to the instrument. So I think what really makes it happen is a combination of sound and playability.
How did you, who began as a designer and a cabinet maker, get into making guitars?
Well, it's strictly by chance, as so many of the good things that happen in life. I was working in a co-op with Stuart Spector, who has his own business making guitars, and in fact I designed a bass for him, and that instrument has become very popular. And after designing a more conventional instrument, I became interested in what I could do by going to something that's more radical. I realized that the headless design solved many of the problems that I had when I designed the more conventional style instrument. So I'm not a guitar player. I came into it by chance, but I had contacts with top musicians in New York. I listened to what they had to say. I translated that into an actual product that was able to deliver what they're looking for. That is to say, sound and balance. Again, these are the things in an instrument that really make it happen. So it was a chance start, but I got into it, went with it.
About how many instruments are out there? I asked you this downstairs.
I can
but
turn
need
the
it
phone
for-
off, by the way.
Can you want to? There must be a switch.
Just the dial.
Go ahead and. How many instruments are out there now being used of the expensive Steinberger basses?
We
or
have
guitars?
about 10,000 instruments now out in the field.
Now these guitars and basses range in price from what to what?
Well, list prices run from minimum about $1,200 up to about $2,500. And it's around $2,000 is our
Do you see a
most
profit
popular
here?
model.
No.
Well, I am pleased to say that while in the beginning our costs were very high, and it was a struggle to get the business really up and running and profitable, but this last year we had an increase, just over this last quarter, increase in sales of 35%. The volume that's starting to come in and our ability to produce the product more efficiently, we're starting to see some real profits, and it's a very exciting time for us. It looks extremely good for the future.
This is not the kind of an instrument that somebody's mother's going to go out and buy their 15-year-old kid who's just learning how to play guitar.
You'd be surprised, but yes, this is much more for the professional. And of course, the very high-end market is much smaller because fewer people are prepared to invest in an instrument of this quality. But it's a market that still sustains a business of our size, and we have a big portion of that professional market.
How many people work for you here?
We have 30 people.
So those 30 people can say, when they see a musician up there with a Steinberger guitar, I did something on that guitar.
They can say it, and it's true, because everyone here is an integral part of making it happen. And everybody has their hands on that guitar at one point or another. And we don't have an assembly line where everybody just puts in one screw. We have each department, people in those departments with a very high level of skill who put a lot of work into each instrument. A lot of time goes into the instruments because what we can do with these materials is produce a finer quality instrument than you can really get from wood, because the tolerances that we can establish to begin with can be maintained through mechanized processes. And as a result, by combining these materials with a lot of care and hand work, we're able to produce a superior instrument.
How long does it take to make the guitar from start to finish, one instrument?
Well, it takes about 18 hours of actual labor to produce an instrument, and it takes about a month to run through the factory.
And that includes the checkouts and the making sure that all the
Yes.
tolerances are right.
Certainly the inspection stations are a very important part of the process where we maintain our quality control. I think that certainly our product is all about quality and innovation. These are the watchwords that we all keep in mind here as we work on the instruments.
How long has there been the company as it exists now selling these instruments?
We started in 1980, and we started really with next to nothing. And I remember when we went out to the first show, we finished the guitars up for the show. It was a half a dozen instruments that were made the night before, paint still wet, the usual routine, with very limited resources, and still we were able to get our point across. And of course we had great support from artists. Right from the beginning, we had musicians picking up on what we were doing. The business world was not really interested, but musicians, once they got a hold of these instruments and heard that sound and got the performance they were looking for, they're the ones who made it happen for us.
Business world is taking note now.
Yes, ever since we became successful, that's when the business world takes note. That's a standard scenario. You have a great idea, nobody wants to pay any attention to it at all. You make that idea work, and then everybody comes and beats down the door.
Are you happy with what's happening with you and your company right now?
I'm very pleased with the way things are going right now. As I said before, it has been a struggle at times, but we're starting to really see the results of all our efforts. We've recently combined forces with the Gibson company and are part of a bigger team. We're seeing a lot of benefit from that. I'm getting a chance personally to focus off the business management part of the operation and get back into design. That's what I love and that's what I do best, and we have some very exciting new products that are be coming out soon. So yeah, it's a great time right now.
Do you get the feeling that your guitars, your instruments, the bass and the guitar, are sort of the Fender of the 80s? I mean, you know, what Fender in the 60s was the guitar to have, the electric instrument. Do you sense that? And I know it's probably easy for you to say that from your point of view,
Well,
but honestly, do you sense that happening?
I think that certainly the size of the market for headless instruments is still considerably smaller than for a Fender or for more traditional styles. However, I do see our instrument very much as the direction of the future. We see a very steady and dramatic growth in our market. We see the more and more people who play the guitar. Take Rick Derringer, for example. He's played our guitar for a while, and now he feels that other conventional instruments no longer satisfy his needs. This is what we're hearing from many artists, and this is what we believe is the way to pave the road for the future.
Do you guys have anything you want to ask Ned? Anything that might interest you? No? Liz?
Maybe
Answer to me when she asks
yeah,
the
maybe
question.
how did you get to all these different guitar players?
Yeah, how did that happen?
Well, I think we really were able to reach out to musicians by word of mouth primarily. Also, video was a big part of it, because a musician would play on a video and it would be shown across the country. For example, when Edward Van Halen went on stage on video with our guitar, people took up and noticed. We got the phone calls coming in. We see that happening. So it's word of mouth and media. Actually playing it, making it sound fantastic. And you know, one of the things that is very exciting for us now is that we have a new model of guitar with a special transposing tremolo, which enables the artist to make music that cannot be reproduced on any other guitar. I mean, not even close. When you hear Van Halen's 5150 album, there are songs on there that utilize technology that's on our guitar that no other guitar can even come close to.
These are things that take any guitar player some amount of time to relearn.